Welcome back, nerds. This is Analese.
This is Rob.
And we are your nerd best friends.
It is time to nerd out about our favorite properties that have made the jump from one thing to another. Hey, nerds, do us a favor, follow, subscribe, and share this episode with a fellow nerd. Help us grow the nerd herd. Now strap in, roll for initiative, and let's get nerdy.
This is episode 101, just like the freeway. Or is it the highway? Freeway? Life is a highway.
Highway 10, Ventura Highway.
Freeway?
In the summertime. I believe it's a highway.
Highway? Do you know the differences between freeway and highway?
I do. It's somewhere deep in my memory, but you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I will say, as you're thinking of, now you want to talk it through? Talk it through.
Oh, no, nope, I sure don't.
Oh, okay. I was recently, I don't know if I was reading or watching something about the phenomenon that Californians put the in front of our freeways, highways, the 405, the 210, the 101, and reading that the theory behind this is all of these freeways or highways were called, they had like a name before they had a number, before there was a whole numbering system across the United States. It was like the Santa Monica Freeway.
The Ventura Highway.
The Ventura Highway. So like that just became ingrained in our culture so that at some point when they were given numbers, we still use the in front of it. But it is something California is very distinctly known for because I don't think there's anywhere else they say like the in front of their freeways and highways. It's
really? They
really
don't say like, oh, you get on the 495? They just say get on 495?
No, they just say get on 495 and take it to 95.
Interesting. Okay.
It's super weird.
I think I'm going to get it messed up. I think highways can like go through your town. Like your highway can also be your main street. So like if you think about being on like the Pacific Coast Highway in California, the PCH, it's going to like go through Santa Monica and there's going to be like stoplights and like it can be like a regular road. Where if you talk about the freeway, that's when you're talking about like big 4-lane nonstop things.
Like zipping between cities. Okay.
Yes. Like I think.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean,
I think I
remember.
Talk to people. I was trying to remember it and I was like, I think I remember learning this where it's like highway is hybrid. Like it can be both things. It can be a street and it can be a fast way to get from town to town.
Okay.
But I could be crazy. So listeners, what's the difference between a highway and a freeway?
Either way, this is the 101 episode.
No Dalmatians will be harmed in the recording of this podcast.
None. Thank you, PETA. So we just...
Otherwise, we'd be slaughtering them.
We just did our last week, our 100th episode, official 100th episode extravaganza, nerd extravaganza. And now we're back to our nerding out. And in this case, we're going to nerd out about live action films, live action adaptations. Before we get to that, we've got nerd mail. I think you have something really, you have like actual like in-person nerd mail.
Should I go second or should I go first?
I think you should go second because yours is really exciting. So I'm going to go first.
I hope it's good.
What we're going to find out live on the air, and you can explain that in a second. But I got from listener Franny. So just a little side story, very quick side story, like one sentence long. Franny, Liberty, and Joan are my college friends that I've been going to Girls Just Want a Weekend with. So we have a little Girls Just Want a Weekend chat group, and it stays dormant most of the time until it's close to Girls Just Want a Weekend. But in this case, I got a message from Franny. I got some nerd mail from Franny yesterday. It says, I am getting caught up on Nerd Best Friends. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, before you move on.
Yes.
It was revealed. Alarm's going off. It was revealed.
Wu-Tang. Sorry.
It's for the children. It was revealed last time in the celebration episode that Joan and I have probably met on like 4 different occasions, including being at your wedding that I didn't know about or wasn't paying attention to. Do I know Franny and Liberty?
I would say you have also likely been at a same party with them. This is all people I hung out with in college. Yes. So remembering whether or not you ever met them, I don't know. Hard to tell. I hung out with Joan a bit more than I did some of the other folks, but like I had lots of classes with Franny. We were both music education majors, and then Liberty was just part of the friend group that I was also part of. So it's likely
it's not
you may have
a big reveal someday where it's like, yeah, you guys sat at the same table as my wedding. She was in the wedding. You stood next to her. If you'd ever looked at a picture from my wedding, you would have seen her there. Like nothing like that.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
None of that.
On with the program.
Okay, so here's the nerd mail. I am getting caught up on Nerd Best Friends, and OMG, you should ask Liberty how many blue M's I threw around around her apartment because I refuse to eat the blue ones. I don't hold a lot of grudges, but I am still mad there is no tan M&M, and I hate myself every time I eat a blue one. There's some big feelings about the blue M's that we talked about in our 30s episode.
Love that reaction. That is so good. That is so good. I love that. Blue M's go in my big book of grudges.
I have one grudge my entire life and one regret. It's every time I eat a blue.
Oh, I love that. There was, you know what? I should look for it. I don't know how many years ago it was when I was first learning about like miniatures and miniature painting and like Warhammer Games Workshop stuff. I remember this model. And it is this, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like this dwarf king. And he's like standing atop think about like a litter and it's made out of a giant book. And so there's this giant book with like a lock on it. And then there's like 4 other dwarves like holding sticks on their shoulders that's holding up this humongous book. And the dwarf king like wielding his sword and shield on top of it. And it's called The Book of Grudges. And I'm like... can relate.
Yes.
It's like this entire premise is this king rides atop the book of grudges he has against other people. And I'm like, I got to get that mini. I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm like, I got to get that miniature.
And you gotta glue a blue M&M on the top of the book of grudges.
So like all these like little references on the base to the things that I hold grudges against, like Foster Freeze and El Pollo Loco, and now Blue.
What do you have against Foster Freeze?
Well, it's always broken. You think you're gonna get a swirly dip? All I want in life is to go to a Foster Freeze and get a half chocolate, half vanilla dip cone. That's all I want. That's why Foster Freeze exists. That's what I got when I was a little kid. I have not been to a Foster Freeze in the last 30 years that can accommodate that request.
I have never had that problem at a Foster's Freeze.
No, I can't get them.
Now, granted, I've probably gone twice in 30 years, but both of them I got a dip cone.
I have probably gone 3 or 4 times in like different cities. Even I'll go up like, oh well, they'll have the half chocolate, half vanilla dip cone. No, sorry, our machine's broken. Don't do that anymore.
Oh my gosh, they're pulling a McDonald's.
It's been forever. The what?
They're pulling a McDonald's.
Yeah, totally. The machine's always broken.
Ice cream machine. Yeah.
But
it's
like,
so funny.
You get like a vanilla cone, but you can't get the half and half dip cone that I remember from a child when we would go to the beach and then we would go to the Foster Freeze over on the corner of the shopping center on the Mesa and get a dip cone.
I used to walk to Foster's Freeze because it used to be across the street from the Foodland on Mitchell Terrena Street. So we would walk down the street. Yes. Now it's like a Mexican restaurant, but we used to walk down the street and go get a 50-cent dip cone from Foster's Freeze, and it would be 8 by the time we got back home.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Yeah, no, I can't get it.
Okay. Rob, you have actual nerd mail. You have something physical in your hand. Tell us the story before you open it.
So here's what happened. It's podcast day, and like yesterday or the day before, I was taking the mail out of the box, and I got like an envelope of like, feels like there's something in here. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And so I'm like, who's this from? And I look and I recognize the name on the return address. And so I'm like, well, I know that person is a listener and this person isn't someone who normally sends me things.
No.
I think this is physical listener mail.
We got actual nerd mail from.
Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it's a subpoena, but this is from Carlos. This is listener Los805.
Nice.
And so
who's also my brother, and I know nothing about. Yeah, I think I've said it before in the podcast. Listener Los805 is my brother. I think I mentioned it because we were going to have him on the episode for our video game because he's like a video game connoisseur.
He sure is. Retro video game, like restoring consoles and stuff.
He goes to those cons all the time, but we couldn't make the scheduling works. Yeah, I know nothing about this, so you're going to open it live right now on the podcast.
I don't either. Okay, so I cut like a little tab so I can rip it open, but I have not looked at this.
Here we go. You're open. That's the sound of him opening.
It's legendary Japanese Kit Kats.
Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Look at this.
We were talking about that at some point.
We were talking about how in Japan they have all kinds of crazy Kit Kat flavors. This is strawberry cheesecake Kit Kat from Japan.
Oh my gosh. It's a little pack of strawberry cheesecake Kit Kat with a bunch of Japanese. Okay, well, you got to open it and try them.
I got, well,
try
first,
one on
where's
the
my
air
Google
right
Translate? Where my Apple Translate? Come on.
You got to take out Apple Translate to see what it says. There are some words in English on there, but also there are strawberry cheesecake Kit Kats.
Okay, Japanese to
Amazing.
English. Camera.
All right, so
Okay.
you've taken out Google Translate and you're holding it up. He's holding it up to the thing for those of you who are listening audio only.
A strawberry cheesecake flavor. 10 pieces of strawberry cheesecake ice cream flavor.
Strawberry cheesecake ice cream flavor.
50 yen. Basque and Robbins. Okay.
Basque and Robbins.
No, big letter N. Basque and Robbins. Oh,
I wonder if that's
Kit
what it's called
Kat,
in
a
Japan.
strawberry cheesecake flavor. Plus strawberry knee. Oh boy, look at this. A collaboration campaign. If you cut out the dotted part of the right frame at the 31 ice cream store, you can use it as a 50 yen discount. Oh, there's a discount code.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm opening it up.
All right, so you're going to open it, you're going to try one?
Of course I am.
So, strawberry cheesecake ice cream flavored Kit Kat.
There's a bunch of them in here. Look at those.
They're little individually wrapped ones. My goodness. Okay.
Look at this.
Okay, so it's got one little individual, it's like one little Kit Kat morsel that Rob is opening.
I have heard the legend of the Japanese Kit Kat where they have all these crazy flavors. I'm so excited. Oh, it's like white chocolate inside.
Ooh. Hold it up to the camera. Let me see. As soon as you have it out.
Making a mess. Okay, so it's like a little mini Kit Kat wafer.
Oh, it's actually, I thought it was just going to be one little Kit Kat bar, but it's two little ones, just like a regular Kit Kat. So you can break me off a piece of that Kit Kat.
I would share it with you if you weren't virtual.
Yeah. Here we go. Rob is tasting it. Surprise. Is it like Jelly Bellies?
It's way better than Jelly Bellies. It's real good.
Oh, okay.
It tastes like strawberry cheesecake.
Ice cream?
But it's interesting though. This one isn't like chocolate like a regular Kit Kat, but it's like it's cheesecakey frosting flavored.
So weird.
It's
so the texture even is a bit different.
Yeah.
But it's good. Yeah?
Oh, great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my God.
My goodness. Nerds, send us nerd stuff to try on the air.
We need a P.O. box, I guess.
We're going to need to figure out, write us, podcast@nerdbestfriends.com. We will tell you where to send it, and we will try it live on the air. Carlos, thank you. That was awesome.
This is incredible.
Episode 101, where we had physical nerd mail for the first time. That was amazing.
What did I say on the 100th episode? I said, we need more listener engagement and content ideas, and boom.
And we
got weird Japanese Kit Kats. I could not be more excited. This is the coolest thing ever. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm going to put one in the fridge so that next time I see you, I'll definitely have one for you.
I thought you were going to put it in the fridge so you can try it cold like it's a piece of cheesecake.
I'm going to put them all in the fridge, and I'm also definitely going to do that too. That's probably the best way to do it. Oh my gosh. How exciting. Thank you, Carlos. How fun was that? That's amazing.
All right. Okay. On to the episode. Favorite live action nerding out about these films. I want to ask Rob first. I struggled with this at first. Who wore it better? Meaning, who did the better live action? And then I started doing a little bit of research, and it's pretty open ended what we consider live action. To me, it seemed more like just adaptation from a book or a comic.
Like it moved from one thing to another. Right? It's kind of
Yeah, because at first I thought we were going to talk just about Disney live action because they had these animated films and now they're making live action films. But can I tell you a secret? It's not a secret. I hate them.
And they're not live action. They're all CGI, kind of schlocky crap.
I enjoy the Beauty and the Beast one, but that's because I love Beauty and the Beast. And there's not much different you can do. But
there's a lot of people in Beauty and the Beast. So. Gosh, I can't even picture the Beauty and the Beast one. They do the big scene at the beginning with all the people. Are there actual people, or are they all 3D CGI people?
Well, so
the dwarves and Snow White.
When the people in the castle become the teapot and the candlestick, that's when it gets super CGI'd. And then, of course, the Beast is super CGI'd. But it's fantastical enough that it didn't bother me. And what's her face who played Hermione, Emma, whatever her name is, played Belle.
Wait, hang on. Is it Emma Watson?
Yes, you were correct. Emma Watson. Yes. Sorry. I didn't mean to gloss over that. Good job. It's Kit Kat power.
The power of the Kit Kat is unlocked.
The power of the Japanese Kit Kat has expanded your brain. But yeah, Emma Watson did a very, very, very good job of playing Belle. I didn't mind that one. I would still prefer the animated version. But like, I remember going to see the Aladdin one in the theaters and I did not like it. I have not even bothered to see any of the others. So I'm glad we're not talking about those live action adaptations.
No, in fact, and I wanted to say, like, the idea of this came from a few months ago when we saw the first trailers for the Masters of the Universe movie that is coming out later. And the idea of like, oh, what an interesting idea. Like, this started as a cartoon to sell toys. And then there was a film, like live action adaptation in the 80s when the cartoon was super popular, which is absolute trash garbage. That Dolph Lundgren
Yeah.
He-Man movie is unwatchable.
No
And now
good.
they're doing, yeah, and now they're doing it again. And that might be very interesting. And I wanted to say, like, I didn't do a very good job of explaining the idea and like stuff or having a conversation about it when we did the fight scenes one earlier in the season. Like, the reason we did that fight scenes one is because at that time, Wonder Man had just come out, which is a superhero story in the Marvel universe that doesn't have a single fight scene in it. Right. And that was like very
Right.
unique for a superhero show.
Right.
It's like, oh, we were talking about fight scenes and like, oh, let's do an episode about fight scenes. But like, that was kind of the inspiration. So the inspiration for this one was that He-Man thing or the Masters of the Universe or whatever. And so it got us thinking like, oh, are there successful examples of how the source material translated better to a film? And so that's where we're at.
Okay. Well, so I went kind of with that and kind of not with that, but I'll do. A question of every episode? Did you do a rank order? Are these like
I
my top
did
three
because you
favorites?
listed them as 3, 2, 1. So yes,
Okay.
I think I did my favorite in one.
I don't know that mine are in order. I would say they're all tied for the same. But my first one that I brought up is the Scooby Doo adaptation from, I should look up the year because I did not look up the year. It's early 2000s, I'm pretty sure. Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo movie came out in 2002. So I remember at the time being kind of meh about it. I'm a very long time Scooby Doo watcher fan from childhood, comic books, all the things. You know, I'm a big Scooby Doo fan. I used to have a Scooby Doo themed bedroom with all the
Big time.
stuff,
Like a
right? Yeah.
collection, like
Yes.
cookie jars and not table,
Uh-huh,
cookie
uh-huh.
jars and like salt and pepper shakers and like the works.
Yeah, so much so, like, in my first job that, like, we never ask kids to get us gifts as teachers, but they often do. I typically got Scooby-Doo stuff. I remember I got a Scooby-Doo alarm clock that was, like, the mystery machine and then the LED display, or not LED, but the light display showing the time on the side, like, I had a ton of stuff. And so
Speaking
this
of
came
the
out in
mystery machine, you had the Lego, like limited edition fancy Lego set of the mystery machine with all the like
I still
mini
have
bits
that.
and
You and
stuff.
Andrew gave it to me.
It's awesome. Oh, did
Yeah,
we
it's
give that to
actually
you?
sitting hold on. It's
Yeah, it's
sitting
incredible.
right there
You can see the turquoise
in the
from here.
display case.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so cool.
So yeah, I still have that. I didn't get rid of everything. I sold off a lot of it, but I didn't get rid of everything. But yeah, you and Andrew gave me that for Christmas a bunch of years ago. I put it together and then it sat in a box. And then when I got the display case, I'm like, oh, that's perfect for the Scooby Doo mystery machine. So I remember going to see this, and it really was aimed for younger kids, as Scooby Doo is. And so what were we in 2000? I was like 23, 24. The big draw for me is it's quite a stellar cast. Obviously, Sarah Michelle Gellar of Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame plays Daphne. You have Matthew Lillard, who plays Shaggy. I was a fan of his through the Scream films that came out a couple years before that. Freddie Prinze Jr. plays Fred. Cardellini wasn't a big name. She's a much bigger actress now. They look at this as like one of her main roles, but there's all kinds of people in this film. Uh, even
I love Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard is a super cool nerd because
he
not
is.
only does he go to all these conventions for both Scooby-Doo and the Scream movies, right? And does all his appearances and stuff, but he's totally involved in that community. In fact, I don't know if we talked about this before, but Matthew Lillard started a company. It's called Beetle and Grimm, and he creates like bespoke, beautiful, like luxury box Dungeons and Dragons material. They're incredible. So,
Yes.
for instance, we are running the Tomb of Annihilation adventure path, right? If we were playing in person, I would probably have purchased the Beetle and Grimm supplement for this thing. And when I say that with my eyes all big, it's because it's probably like a $450 box of stuff. It's incredible. So you get
Yeah.
these supplements. So it's like, okay, like I got the book, I'm going to run through this adventure. And then you get this thing and it's got all the battle maps in real size, like rolled up on like beautiful paper. It's got, you know how we do like the handouts online where we like pop stuff? They're physical things where
Wow.
they're folded. So all the stats of the thing are on one side and that picture is on the other. So you hang them on your DM screen. It'll come with a custom
Wow.
DM screen. It comes with a bunch of miniatures. And then it will also, they'll come with like physical handouts as well. So like if you find, I don't know, the sacred dagger of something, something, you can hand the dagger to the people, or like the necklace that belonged to the whatever. There's a necklace in there that you could
Well, that
give
is
to the
cool.
player and stuff like that. They're gorgeous, beautiful. And I just haven't had the opportunity to play a D&D game in person with that much like seriousness to go for it. But oh my gosh, yes, I've seen him on different live plays and stuff. He's a total D&D nerd and
Yes.
he speaks nothing but fondly of the time he spends like from that Scooby-Doo experience, going to cons and meeting fans and doing all kinds of stuff. Like he's a super cool nerd.
Yeah, and he kickstarted some dice a number of years ago that was like super luxury. Like I remember watching the video where they were precision weighing the spinning of the dice to make sure that you get honest rolls, like very expensive dice. I couldn't pull the trigger on that, but yeah, like he's a big time D&D nerd, and what I love about him is he understands his place in pop culture and he understands his place in the industry, and he doesn't strive to be like a Tom Cruise. He knows exactly who he is and loves interacting with fans and stuff. I'm a big fan too, but the Scooby-Doo adaptation at the time, it was okay. As I've looked back at it, now it's over 20 years old. I mean, it stands the test of time. It is holding up really well. It's really honest to the Scooby-Doo franchise. The characters are played really well, and yeah, it's just a good film. And they came out with the second one, and the second one's also pretty good, but
Mhm.
for the sake of the show and the podcast, I went first with the Scooby-Doo adaptation from 2022 or 2002.
That is awesome. For my first entry, I'm just going to say some Marvel stuff, but this is one of those things where it's like the Marvel universe is huge, right? And I think overall, they've done a very good job taking those comic books and translating those characters into these movie things. But that doesn't necessarily mean one's better or one's worse, or, you know, one's like, oh man, this is so cool. But I do have a couple examples of things that I think really did elevate the character or the material. And the first one by far is the America Chavez character in the
Yeah.
comics. I think I've shared before. They don't know what they're doing with that character. It's supposed to be like, the idea is there's this really cool, like super powered, super strong, like can fly superhero person from Puerto Rico. And her name is America Chavez. And she's, you know, this female hero and she's from Puerto Rico. And like, there's all this stuff. And people are like, oh, this is going to be really cool. And like, it's not, sometimes it's all about her like short shorts. Sometimes it's all about her boyfriend problems. Sometimes she's in space doing things, like it's all over the place. It's like, what is happening? But in the movie, the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie, they brought this character into the Marvel Universe and nailed it. She's great. She's fun. She's grounded. She's learning about the universe along with the character, right? They do a really good job of putting that character into the audience point of reference role as far as discovering the multiverse and going on the adventure and stuff like that. Like, absolutely. Who wore it better? The movie version of America Chavez wore it better. The other one that I want, or unless you had something to say, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's unfortunate that they really didn't do anything with that character after that because she was so good.
100%, right? I don't know. I haven't watched that like trailer in a while with all the chairs. Is like America Chavez return in Avengers Doomsday? Maybe. I don't know.
We
Honestly,
don't
so
know.
meh about Avengers Doomsday. I kind of am too.
I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are, but are we still going to all go see it? Yes, we are.
Yeah, yeah. The next one is Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics was always like very, very niche. The people reading Guardians of the Galaxy are the people who go to the comic book store every Wednesday and just buy everything. because there's no way, like, if you were having to be very discerning with your dollar, you weren't getting down to this ragtag group of space adventurers, probably. And in fact, the Guardians of the Galaxy have changed and moved around different members so many times that even at the time of the first movie coming out, the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books didn't look anything like the team of heroes that we love with Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax and Groot and Rocket Raccoon. Like, the movies absolutely wore it better in that situation because James Gunn came in and was like, okay, this is a mess. What can I take from this mess and make a super cool, space adventure team, a crew of a spaceship out of, and did a phenomenal job. Like, I would not even, like, same with America Chavez. Like, I would not recommend anybody go read old Guardians of the Galaxy comic books. Like, oh, I really love Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's my favorite one. What should I read? I'm like, just enjoy your movie and love it, because you're not going to
Anything that
be
came out
happy.
after the movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Read those. Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. Like, it's so successful to the extent that it's probably a disappointment to read the old comics.
I would think so. There's a few people out there who are big fans, but not me. Very convoluted storylines and stuff that, it was like Marvel Universe was going out there in the cosmic space and nobody really knows what's going on, not really connected to anything. And so, yeah, probably afterwards, things got a little bit better, but rough stuff. And then the last one is Black Panther. The Black Panther movie is amazing. And what Chadwick Boseman did in those movies was incredible. Absolutely defined the character. If you go back and look at like those 70s Black Panther comics, they're fine. They're good, but they were very much of their time. And that time was, working through the civil rights movement and working through, what was happening 10 years earlier and what is still happening now with Black culture in America, which is great. And it definitely has its place. But to take that and put it through the lens of a super advanced, amazingly powerful, hidden society in Africa that can look at that, what happened with Black Americans, and especially represent that with like the villain character who had like all kinds of different dimensions, just blows it out of the way, or blows it out of the water. Like, the Black Panther movie, I would say, wore it better than the Black Panther comic books.
Well, in that, I'm going to agree with you 100%. The Black Panther movie is so good and so impactful and so powerful. Again, the comics are also good, but pale in comparison to the representation that they were able to pull out of the live action film adaptation. For my second one, I'm going to go with Ready Player One but it's not for the reason you think.
Interesting.
Right? So the book itself kind of hand feeds you a lot of 80s references, and it's really nostalgic and fun to read if you were a child in the 80s or a teen in the 80s. It's really great. And then the movie itself adapts it I'm not going to say that this movie itself is a totally great adaptation of the book. I think there's some people who don't like the movie adaptation at all. But you want to know who wore it better? It's the whole series and sequence with The Shining in it, which isn't in the book. And I love this. Even not being a Stephen King fan. So take a drink because everybody. I mentioned Stephen King. But even if you just knew the Shining movie and you knew how scary it was and you had seen it before, whether or not you were a fan of Stephen King or the movie, when they go into the Overlook Hotel as part of that challenge is the highlight of the film. I mean, it is so good. Representing all the different horrors that happen in that movie, because the movie, you want to talk about adaptations, the Shining movie is very different from the book in a lot of ways. And there's a whole controversy around all that, which we've talked about before in the podcast. But in this case, it is so awesome the way they handle that. And it's actually kind of scary because like, if you've seen the movie, you know what's coming next. But the payoff point comes from when they are standing up on a balcony, and I'm going to forget the name of the big bad corporation, but the dude in the big bad corporation, he's standing like a little bit elevated from their big warehouse of people trying to beat the guy and finish the level first. And it's just horror, carnage, madness going on with all those people locked in on their little ocular
That's
devices.
right. They're all
Because
screaming.
they're screaming and they get killed in the game, in the virtual
Yeah,
reality,
yeah.
and then they're jumping out of their ocular machines and, like, screaming, and it's just carnage across below them, and it's hilarious because you know exactly what they're going through. I just think that was such a cool I wish it was in the book. It was such a cool reference and way to look at that level. Got war better, way better in that moment of the book or the film versus what happened in the book. I loved it so
Oh
much.
my gosh. Well, I am going to agree with you. I think that the Ready Player One movie does a lot of the lifting because it's visual. It's a visual medium. So you don't have to explain all the references that are in there. Like, I have a great time watching the movie and being like, oh, there's a Millennium Falcon. Oh, there's the time machine from Back to the Future. Oh, there's the spaceship from Battlestar Galactica. Oh, there's like just seeing that your brain can take a lot more of it in. Where in the book, everything has to be
Has to be
explained, right?
explained.
They
Yeah.
don't, and I get it, like, and it's beloved, but it's like, yeah, no, I get it. I know it, like, you gotta be like, and this was a Pac-Man thing, and they had arcades, and they had
In
the
Pac-Man, you
cocktail
had to
arcades, and
yeah.
the cocktail arcades were the ones where you sat down and it was flat like a table, and you could put your drink on it. And it's like, I know, I lived
We
it.
get it. Yeah.
We get it. Move on. I
Well,
had a lot
and
of that during the book.
the other thing the movie can do is also audible, right? So, like, there's an audio clue when he talks about the Zemeckis cube, and you get the harp from Back to the Future, and it
Yes.
happens maybe 3 or 4 times in that scene. You can't do that little doo-doo-doo-doo little sound when you're reading the book. You can't even describe that sound. You're like, "Insert harp, Back to the Future harp here." Like, you just
Right,
can't
wouldn't be a
replicate
good
that.
novel. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right,
you're right.
right.
So, for a different reason, I do agree with you. That is a great example of something where the film actually is probably more fun for me to watch than going back and
Yeah.
reading the book.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you got?
Mine is also a book. For my number 2, chose Dune. We are about to get the 3rd of the new Dune movies coming out, and I will say this is a little bit of a uninformed opinion. I've never read the Dune books, and I never will read those big chunky boys because, oh my gosh, they're huge and they're dense and they're world building, and I just can't even the movies. I mean, these are like, there's going to be 3 of them and they're all like 3.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, it's
they're
enough of
Lord
an
of the Ringsing
investment
it.
to watch this movie. And they're beautiful, of course, right? With the giant vistas of the characters and all the technology and stuff. Like, I feel like with a movie that is taking that much time and it is being very faithful as an adaptation, from what I understand, I don't need to read those old crazy 6-inch tall novels, paperback novels. I think the Dude movies are just what we needed. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, sight unseen, the movies were better than trying to read all those super crazy dense books.
What would your reaction be if people said the same thing about Lord of the Rings?
I think people do. And I think that's
Okay.
okay. I think people do, and I think that's okay, especially if you are, I mean, if you're a younger person as well, and it's like, those movies are like 25 years old now. So if you've grown up in a world where those movies have always existed, that's Lord of the Rings for you. And I've even said before, it's like, I don't know that I'll ever go back and read those books because the movies are so good. The more I think about it and stuff, it's like, no, I probably will, because those prose that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote and like the way he used language and stuff is definitely worth reading, but it's almost like, but it's academic. Right? It's almost like doing homework or studying. I would say if you could take, and you can, depending on where you're going, if you could take a college English course where the course is reading those books and
Oh, yeah.
analyzing them and doing that, 100% take that course. Is going to be fantastic. If there was, and I think, and I know there is, because we talked to the guy on our podcast, I do want to go back, who's going chapter by chapter and
Yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
at the book and then like talking about the scenes. That is something that I still want to do. Luckily with the internet, those episodes will exist forever and I'll be able to do
Yes.
that. And I would do that. But again, that's more like supplemental, like academic looking at it rather than just enjoying the story. If you want to just enjoy the story, I would say, yeah, just watch the movies. They're awesome and great,
And that makes sense.
faithful adaptations, right?
That makes sense to the Dune movies as well, because they are popular enough, which means they are good adaptations and they wear it better.
Right on. All right, we are blazing right through. We're
We
already to
are.
our number 1s, Analese.
Yes. This one I'll say I've read the book physically once. I've listened to it maybe 3 times total, but I am talking about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. In particular, what they did, the last book is so chunky that in the movies, they split it in half and they have a part 1 and a part 2. And I don't know if I'm alone in loving The Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's my favorite Harry Potter film. It
Okay.
is dark, it is gritty, the circumstances are real, they are older, so it's not so cutesy. Harry, you're a wizard now. The danger is real. And I guess the danger is real throughout the whole thing, but it really is kind of just touring with you the entire time with Voldemort and all the things. And now things are real bad. They're real bad. And you don't know which way this is gonna end. And yeah, it's the darkest of the films, and I love it. I love the way it plays out in the movie almost more, if not more, than the book itself. Yeah, I just really anytime it's on, because Harry Potter movies tend to be on syndication here in America
Sure.
a lot. If the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is on, I will put it on and have it on in the background, or while I'm like painting, or while I'm folding laundry or whatever. It's just so good. It's done so well once the stakes are at their worst and everything's hitting the fan. There's some really powerful moments that are really well acted throughout that entire film.
And that's the one where everything's crazy and the darkness takes over. There's the Dementors flying around. I know this because of the Universal Studios ride where my little
Yeah.
boy had to cover his eyes during the
Yep.
part where the ghosts were flying around on strings.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, they're winning the battle, right? Like Voldemort and his army is winning the battle. They've taken over the Ministry of Magic, and they like people are dying, and they've taken over Hogwarts, and it's turned into like a torture chamber for anyone who dissents, and it's real. The circumstances are real. Harry Potter's got to break back in, and there's a really great scene where he faces off against Snape before he really realizes that Snape is, 1.5 feet in on his side, but Harry doesn't know this. And there's a really great confrontation moment in Hogwarts where he's, how dare you stand where he stood, and talking about, what's his face? Not
Yeah.
Voldemort, you know, the main guy that's gonna, anyways, it's just
Ewan
that,
McGregor.
no.
No, not Ewan McGregor.
Why am I,
A flippy beard McGillicuddy. Pointy hat
yeah,
Smith.
that's it right there. Yeah. But this turns into a battle scene where even the teachers
Dumbledore.
are like,
Dumbledore, I got it before you
Dumbledore,
did.
you got 2
Dumbledore.
now. Power of the Kit Kat.
Kit
He's
Kat.
referencing
Galaxy Brain.
he's referencing to Dumbledore, who's now been murdered by Snape, and how dare you stand where he stood, and face off, and the teachers get involved because you really only see them as teachers, and they get to like battle and protect the school. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's just really cool. There's real circumstances, there's real deaths that happen. It runs through these highs and lows, and you think Harry dies and he doesn't die. I mean, it's just so good, and it's done so well, and it's so much more exciting to see it in the movie. Reading it is intense, but the movie itself is really good.
Have you seen it lately, and do the effects kind of hold up now 20 years later?
They hold up well enough.
Okay.
They hold up well enough. I mean, there's things about it that you have to just accept, like the fact that this human person, Voldemort, is turning himself into a snake, and he's split the essence of his being into 7 pieces, and horcruxes and all those things, and his face becomes more and more snake-like, and there's just things you have to accept. And there's some really smart things too, right? So for every time that Harry or his friends destroy a Horcrux, Snape's skin color and clothing color changes because they're killing off bits and pieces of him that he has stored in these magical items. It's actually
A real
pretty
Rod of
phenomenal how they do
7-part
that.
story. Maybe I should have just skipped to the end with Harry Potter instead of getting stuck.
Maybe this last one, it would be the whole last book. So if you wanted to do the movies, do part 1 and 2 of the Deadly Hallows, because Harry's on a quest to find the 7 Horcruxes, or he thinks there's 6. There's spoiler alert there. If you know anything about Harry Potter, he's the 7th, and there's a whole
And
thing.
he might have to make the ultimate sacrifice.
He has to make some decisions to make the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah, it is a quest of 7 things that he has to do to destroy Voldemort.
Yeah, I got hung up. Which is the one with the time travel in the movie, and they like do the same scene like 4 times in a row. So like the
the
third
5th one. That one's hard to watch. That
What's the
one's
5th one?
actually better to read than it is to watch.
Yeah, that's where I
in
stopped.
my opinion.
I'm like, man,
Yeah,
this is getting real rough.
Yeah, that one I don't watch that one very much. I think it's the 5th, and then yeah,
Okay.
That one
But this is the
is
one
a
you're talking about is 7 and 8?
yes, it's book 7 and movies 7 and 8.
Alright. Well, maybe I'll do that on
There
your
you go.
recommendation. Jump
What do
ahead.
you
Maybe
got?
it'll make me more interested. Okay.
What's the top of your list?
Number 1. I can't believe I love this show so much, and it came from a video game that I've never played. I don't know anything. I mean, I do now a little bit, but I've never played. I didn't know anything about the MOBA game League of Legends. Like, that is like, oh, yeah, that's something that those esports kids play, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't
I've
really
never
know.
played it either.
But Netflix took the characters from that battle arena game and created an entire world of story around it with these characters, the way they came up. And I mean, just using that aesthetic from the game and probably using like very simple, like descriptions that you would get on characters as you're flipping through menus and develop this world with just amazing technology. It's one of those technology and magic mixy worlds, and it's got class struggle, it's got family struggle, it's got themes of chosen family, it's got themes of redemption and turning and holding grudges and turning away from things. And the animation is just absolutely beautiful and avant-garde and super cool. It's got a just absolutely banging soundtrack behind it the whole time. Like, I really, really love the animated show Arcane on Netflix. And it's like, I'm like, oh my God, I love this so much. I should go look at League of Legends and play this game. I would probably love it. No, it's just some dumb like
It's just a
MOBA game.
game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got to do your dailies and collect your gems and your whatever, and then go fight somebody to get other daily whatever. Like, no, thank you. Yeah, not for me. But man, that show is good. I was hoping you were going to get a chance to watch it before you cut off your Netflix.
I didn't get a chance to, but next time the cutoff isn't forever, right? So when something comes around that I want to see, we'll do a month subscription for that thing. So it's on my list. It's on my Netflix list in my account. So it's there for me to watch at some point.
I hope
I'll
so.
watch
I
it.
don't know if there's a season 3, but I'm hoping there's a season 3. The rumors are like, I guess, they always with these big popular games, there'll be add-ons, right? There'll be DLC that whatever. And for what I heard, like the last DLC that came out for the game, there's this like amazing cinematic that opens it when you download the new content that looks like probably what we're going to see in the first episode of season 3 of the
Nice,
show. So they've jumped
nice.
all in. They're like, oh, we're more popular than ever. Let's start,
How
making
do
our
we
stuff look more
capitalize
like
on
the
this?
cartoon. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's all good. But man, I really like that show.
There were announcements recently, and I know you're super excited about this. So we're going to have to come back to this topic after the Firefly animated series comes out.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I cannot tell you the number of people who sent me social media clips about Nathan Fillion going and knocking on everybody's door and
Uh-huh.
talking about like
Uh-huh.
that this was happening. And then there was a big reveal at one of the conventions that it was going to be an animated series. And there was some, just some static like art of like, oh, here's what your characters would look like and this art style and stuff. I'm bullish on that. I think that could be incredible. I think if we look at,
Did
yeah,
you pick up on where the storyline's going to be?
no,
It's going to be from where the series ended to where the movie
to the
starts.
movie.
It's going to
That
be a
makes sense.
Rogue One situation. So I'm super
Yeah.
excited for it.
That's great. That makes
Because
sense
there
because
is
I know they wanted Wash to be in it, and spoiler alert, in the movie, he makes
he
the ultimate
dies.
sacrifice.
He
And
dies.
yeah, he
He's a
did.
leaf
So if
on the
he's in it,
wind.
it would have to have been it would have to have been before that.
Well, and there's a jump. It's kind of a startling jump from the last episode of the series into the book. There's a tone change, and there's a change there. So to bridge that gap between the two, I think is going to be really powerful. So we'll see if the animated series wears it better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe because it's not going to have to, like, they're looking for a studio, they're looking for all of this stuff, they're looking for creative talent to do it. It might even turn into something that's kind of like crowdfunded or whatever, maybe. And if that's the case, then they won't have to do what Firefly had to do, which was fit into exactly 44 minutes and 30 seconds, have those commercial breaks throughout and
Right.
stuff, which I feel like now that television doesn't have to do that anymore, we see a lot better, less segmented storytelling.
Correct. But we have a section for honorable mentions. I'm just real briefly going to say there are, I like, as I was doing research and thinking about what I would put on my list, there are so many Marvel movies that can be mentioned here. So many Marvel movies. I want to specifically mention that I think the Avengers movies,
Mm-hmm.
I think they end up doing really well. I know we've talked about this in the past, like tasked Joss Whedon to make the first one, and it was really going to
Yes.
hinge, like Marvel's cinematic universe was hinging on whether or not this ensemble cast could work. And since Joss Whedon's work was all ensemble cast at that point with very powerful ensembles like Buffy and Firefly, he made it work and everything built off of that. So the Avengers movies are really good. You helped me remember that I learned backwards that Thanos in the comic books is nothing like the Thanos in the movies and actually
No.
isn't really that scary of a dude. He's kind of goofy. But
He's a
man, in
total
the
goof.
films,
He's a very
yeah,
like mustache twirling, mwahaha kind of
yeah.
just dumb villain.
And
And
they made him into an amazing, scary, real consequences villain in the films.
like generational character. Like I would say for like kids that grew up when we grew up, everybody knew who Darth Vader was. Darth Vader was the big scary villain of the movies. And for people 20 years younger than us now, it's like, no, it was all about
Thanos.
Thanos. Thanos
Yeah.
was the big scary thing in the
Yeah.
movies, right?
Yep. He was the big bad guy.
Yeah. The big
Do
yeah,
you
I
have
had a
any?
couple. I
Yeah.
did. I had one on mine as well, which was Blade Runner. Blade Runner is a super cool movie. It had the sequel with Blade Runner 2049, and that came from the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And I
It's a funny name.
it is a funny
Go on.
name,
Go
but
on. I'm sorry.
that's the idea
Yeah.
is because the whole thing with the androids in the future and the who's
Yeah.
a replicant and who's not. But I tried to read that book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I'm like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be this great, science fiction masterpiece, and it's, what this world was spawned out of. And like, I'm a big nerd. I'm gonna go read this book. I didn't get through it. Like, it started real slow and the world was unraveling and doing, like regular novel stuff, but oh boy, I couldn't get through it. So I'm going to say like, yeah, Blade Runner with freaking Harrison Ford, way cooler than Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. And then, along those veins as well is V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta
Okay.
is a super cool movie about it's like historical fiction about terrorist events and stuff that happened in England. And the movie's good. Gets in there, gets to the point. You get your characters, you get your story in and out, no problem. You don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to read about it. Somebody will disagree with me for that. Somebody will probably write it and be like, how dare you? That movie was just the tip of the iceberg of the horrors that like, I get it. But you don't need to read that book.
That being said, nerds, what do you agree or disagree with? Which ones did we miss? Let us know. Podcast at nerdbestfriends.com. Do you have a nerdiest thing this week, Rob? What's the nerdiest thing you did this week? Is it opening up a strawberry flavored cheesecake Kit Kats?
I mean, it's pretty exciting. You know what's so funny is like every time when we sit down, you look at the document, and if I ever have a blank space in nerdiest thing you did this week, you always say, oh, hey, did you have a nerdiest thing? You didn't put it in the document. And this time we were so excited about the mystery package, you didn't do that. And sure enough,
I totally
I didn't
didn't
think of
see
one.
it.
So let me think about, let's see, what did I do this week? You start.
I will start while you're thinking. I Rob Coopered out.
All right.
And I have spreadsheet craziness on my collectible sales through eBay. I don't know. I'm on like 3 different selling portals now.
Oh my
Thanks to
gosh.
Sellraise, Mercari. And so I had mentioned, I think, our last episode, like the cool thing about getting old is that the stuff we collected in the 90s is now considered vintage. So both myself and Sarah, like, honestly, this could go for anybody. You need to make a little bit extra money because all of it's going towards our debt and our
Yeah.
move that's coming up, right? And in 30 days, I have almost $500 sales. Now, not all 500 goes in my pocket because you pay fees and I've got to pay for shipping, even though like the buyer pays for shipping, but I also have to buy it. So, and I've had to go to like Walmart and Staples and get shipping boxes and order a few shipping supplies. So I have a little bit of expenses, but a few $100s to come out of covering those expenses and then just putting it towards debt. And it's just stuff we have around the house. Like I went to my closet. Here's a shirt from Eddie Bauer that I have not worn since I moved to Ukiah. It's going up on eBay. So like I don't even have to go thrift store hunting or garage sale hunting.
Right.
It's all in my garage. I have
Right.
a whole box of DVDs. I'm selling lots of not a lot, but like a lot of 6 Disney Blu-rays for
Mhm.
$30, right? In the grand scheme of things, I had to let go of how much I paid for it in the past and not worry
Yeah, for
about
sure.
that and just start selling it. But in order to stay on top of things, I created a spreadsheet. So my little
Mhm.
spreadsheet has the date it sold, the item that I sold, where it's located, because now I have a few bins.
Inventory
I like
control.
just a little bit. I have less than 100 things, but in my house, I can't just have them sitting around.
Of course.
But, I have SKU numbers basically and where things are located. And then I have the item number depending on which portal it's sold through. And then what the sale price was, how much I charged for shipping, what my fees were. And on some of them, I can do promotional amounts. So, like, I pay an extra fee depending on how much I
Sure.
want eBay to
Advertise.
promote it, right? So if I have them promoted at 10%, they get a bigger fee. If I have them promoted at 2%, they get a little bit more fee. So I have a promotional fee that I paid, the cost that it paid to shipping, and I buy it right through the apps and print it on my label printer. I have all my shipping supplies right here, and I just boom, boom, boom. And then I don't even have to go to the post office anymore because we have a USPS pickup at my school. So I just put everything in the pickup box there. Um, and then I put purchase costs, which right now is all 0 because I'm not at the point that I'm going out to buy things in order to sell them. So it's all 0 because I'm not going to go back and put what I purchased for something in 1996. And then any shipping supply costs, which, 70 cents at Walmart for a box is not that big of a deal. And that gives me my total profit. And then I have under that record, I have my purchases. So like my rate, my label printer, the date I bought it, how much it cost. So I have a spreadsheet mini amount of what I've purchased. And then
Yeah,
a
your
bottom
supplies.
of that is my total amount of that I've spent on purchases, the total amount of my profit after all of the expenses, and what my final amount that I'm pocketing after that. So like I've spreadsheeted
Wow.
crazy my eBay and I want to say it's Mercari and Celery sales.
Wow. I'm
It's
so
wild.
jealous. I wish I could do this. Really to make room and to get rid of stuff that I'm not gonna touch again. Like, this is such a good idea, man, Annalise. I'm jealous. I wish I was you and I was like turning stuff around and moving through this. Like, this sounds amazing.
It doesn't take as long as I thought it would with the app that I use. Honestly, I try to post 3 to 5 things in the morning between breakfast and my shower.
Mm,
Right? So it means I'm getting up a little bit earlier, just a
sure.
little bit, because I'll say it might take me 15 minutes to post 3 to 5 things. And
Okay.
I have a box, and one of the boxes is a big shoe box full of vintage Hallmark Christmas ornaments that has just been a
Sure.
box that I've had forever. They're like from 1985 and 1990. Some of them are Sarah. She's like, let's just get rid of all this stuff. We're never going to put it out on the tree. So all I do is put it in my little light display picture thing, take a couple pictures. The app tells me about average of how much it costs. I can click on the different apps to see what it sells for. It takes the pictures, it generates the title and description, and it does the description to the extent that it's actually looking at the photo. The AI piece is
Mhm.
looking at the photo to say some minor wear on the left tire of Santa's sleigh or whatever. Like
Wow.
it picks up those details and then it cross posts across
Mm.
all 3 of platforms. So I put the price, I put the shipping, I press list, and it list on all the platforms at once. And so it takes like 15 minutes. I don't have to do all that research for each individual item because it's going to do it for me as part of that app. It's pretty amazing. So I try to do 3 to 5 every morning as I'm sipping my coffee. I finish my breakfast, I finish my workout, and I'm about to go head in the shower so I can get to work. and I post 3 to 5 things and then I leave it. And then when I get home, I just check real quick. This is what I was saying. Like I go on social media like once a day. When I get
Oh, yeah, yeah.
home, I check social media real quick for the podcast. And then I look to see if anything's sold. And if anything's sold, I just box it right then and there, print out the label, put it on my spreadsheet, and then drop it off at work the next day.
The
It's
dream.
wild.
It's
It's wild.
awesome. It is awesome. I'm gonna have to come to your getting started masterclass and learn about all the things that I need to like purchase and get set up and everything to get this going because that's amazing to me. And
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I need to be living that life. I really do. That's awesome. Just
And you could
awesome.
probably make a much better spreadsheet than I can because you're like spreadsheet pro, but
I don't know about all that. Sounds like you got it going on. Oh
Well, what do you
wow.
got? Did you think of a nerdiest thing you did this week?
I am going to tell you the story of
Okay.
just a perfect Rob day.
Okay.
Okay. So earlier in the week, one of my friends surprises me like, "Hey, I can't use my uh my ticket to the LA Kings game. Do you want it?" Of course I do.
Hello.
Of course I do. So I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on that day. And I just turned it into this like perfect day. I got up. It was an early game, right? It was like the 1 p.m. start time game that they
Well,
do
those are the
sometimes on the
best.
weekends.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, this is going to be great. So I get up, I make myself some breakfast, I get ready, I get all my Kings gear on and stuff like that. And I hit the road and I drive down to LA and it's just a beautiful day. I've got the windows down. The ocean is, the ocean view down the freeway or whatever. I hit the arena. I go in there just all by myself, like whatever. I don't have to worry about anybody else. And I'm like, cool. So I go and I get my beer and I go and I watch the first period and it's going great and everything's going cool. And then it's like, going through the game gets it gets real bad, right? We're not a very good
Yeah.
team. So at one
Yeah.
point it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like 2 or 3 to 1. Like, you know what? You know what I never have time to do when I'm like here worrying about other people? Just like walk around and like do stuff. So I start like walking around. I have a professional connection, kind of a buddy who is really involved in like one of the fan clubs, like the LA Kings
Yeah.
Army, like super
Yeah.
fan club. Went and found him and talked to him for a while and stuff. I went to the store. I bought myself a hat. I was like trying on jerseys and all kinds of things like that. Just chilling, just Rob time at the arena. The game's going on. I like, you know how it is at the stadium. It's like, oh, well, I'm not going to go all the way to my seat, but oh, there's a power play. Let me just go find somewhere to
Gonna go
sit.
sneak in right here. Yep.
Yep,
Yep. Yep.
absolutely right here. Watch that power play. So just doing the whole thing. Then coming back up north. Well, guess what this weekend is? It's the anniversary of the Games Workshop miniature store, and they've got special deals. So
Oh
you
my
gotta
gosh.
so boom, I'm able to, because it was an early game, I'm able to get there before it closed. I'm able to order the special miniatures. I'm able to like spend way more money than I should have spent to get all the freebies, bring in more money, more miniatures into the house, completely destroying my nerd goals, buy a bunch of new paint, the whole thing. Then of course, like I'm there and I'm like, oh man, it's beautiful. The sun is setting over the ocean. I know just what to do. Pull into my favorite, that Transmission Brewery in
Uh huh.
Ventura that we've gone to. They
Uh huh.
have now a second story. And that second story is all this open air patio where you can look out and see the ocean and the islands as the sun sets and enjoy your beer and look through your stuff. It was amazing. So it was a perfect Rob day. Just solamente Roberto
It
all
was
day
Rob
long.
Cooper's day off, bro.
Exactly. It was definitely like just a perfect Rob day of Rob stuff to
That's
do.
amazing. And
Yeah.
all your nerdy favorite things. You went to a Kings game. You had some good beers. You got to watch the sunset. Did you get to get a slice of pizza as well? Because I mean, you got toppers right there.
I did not. I got French fries instead. I had already had, a big giant, like just ooey gooey delicious Wetzel's pretzels at
Uh,
the stadium. So
at
I
the
only
stadium.
needed like a little snack. So I got little fries with
Yeah,
my beer.
I get it. And you got Games Workshop, more minis.
I got more minis. I got to talk to the dude and, see all
Man,
the
but
cool
doesn't that
minis.
mean you have to go back like next week for the mini of the month?
Yeah, sure does, Chief. You know what? I'm up for it. I'm just the man for the job.
You are on the job. Oh, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Next episode, we will get nerdy about the second Lord of the Rings movies, The Two Towers. I have finally convinced Analese to watch Lord of the Rings. We watched the first movie last year and we're on for the second one this year. I am so excited for all of its awesomeness. Before you go, join us. Hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. If you're feeling the nerd love, drop us a 5-star rating and help more nerds find their people. Find us on social at NerdBestFriends or email the show podcast@nerdbestfriends.com. Grow the nerd herd, spread the geeky joy, and we will see you next time.
All right, best friend, thank you. Thank you, nerds, for coming back. Share this episode, help us grow our family, and we're going to Lord of the Rings Two Towers next episode.
Boy, I know you're going to be so excited. You've seen those like Instagram posts I've been sending you about that lady who's like over the moon, wild, excited about Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
That's my expectation. Me. That's my expectation.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I know how to prep.
Baseline.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Talk to you later.
See you next week, nerds.